The 2018 World Series hero, the ace of the 2018 Boston Red Sox, Chris Sale, has been traded to the Atlanta Braves. In return, the Braves sent Vaughn Grissom, a player who hasn't really got much of a chance yet, but we'll talk about him later. First of all, this trade is great for the Atlanta Braves, and do not let anyone fool you. But why is it that people think so negative whenever they regard Chris Sale? Well, going back into 2019, Chris Sale was extended by the Boston Red Sox. It was a 5-year, $145 million contract. Chris Sale did his part in the 2018 World Series, but 1 year after, going into 2019, this is when things started to go very, very bad. Chris Sale was struggling. He had a 4.40 ERA. He was later put on the 10-day injured list, then IL, and then he got Tommy John surgery. Boston's ace was out all of 2020. He came back in August of 2021, and he pitched very well in his 9 starts. But then the postseason happened, and he absolutely collapsed, allowing 8 runs in 9 innings of the postseason. This is when fans realized that Chris Sale is officially not the same arm that he once was. Regardless, fans were excited for 2022 Sale, and then he got injured before the season even began. He came back in July, pitched 1 game, and then in the second game, he fractured his left pinky. The next month in August, Chris Sale broke his wrist from a bicycle accident. Get off of your bike, Chris. That was at least everyone's reaction at the time. This is why fans are not super optimistic about Chris Sale. Reliability is really important in a starting pitcher, and that's just not something that he has shown. But in 2023, it was his best year since 2019. He may have been injured for 1 month, but with that being said, he was still pretty decent, right? In 20 starts, he had a 4.30 ERA, a lot better than what we've seen out of him in the past. 2023 was also the 4th year of his 5-year extension. Obviously, it just hasn't worked out. It's actually been quite a failure by the Red Sox front office. Now, Red Sox fans didn't expect Sale to be traded, and here's why. He has so much upside. He has potential to be really good in 2024, and I really don't see enough people talking about it. I mean, his stuff with his strikeouts was really impressive last year whenever you go ahead and rewatch it. But yesterday, we heard that Chris Sale was being sent to the Atlanta Braves, and this is just a trade that makes so much sense for the Braves. Offensively, they are no doubt about it ready for a World Series, whereas the pitching was really the weak side of Atlanta. Not to say that it was bad, they had Morton, they had Strider, and they of course had Fried, but they were still not great. They saw Chris Sale was available and they made a move. Some people are trying to label this as a bad trade for the Red Sox. Some are trying to say that this is a bad trade for the Braves. But truth be told, they both won this trade. From the Braves' perspective, Vaughn Grissom was not going to play a role in 2024 no matter what. But they saw that Boston was eager to land a second baseman and were willing to trade Chris Sale. Now, the Braves' rotation may be the weakness of the team, but it is certainly not bad. These are the statistics for their 3 best pitchers last year. Now, compare those to Chris Sale's. Clearly, all 3 were better than Chris Sale. This means that he is going to be their number 4 pitcher in that rotation. Whereas with the Red Sox, he would have had to have all the weight on his shoulders, and he would have likely even been the number 2 pitcher. With the Braves, yeah, they're still depending on him, but not nearly as much. Braves fans are expecting much less of him than what Red Sox fans, of course, were expecting. And because of this, I think that Chris Sale gets a completely fresh start and a chance to rebuild his name. Now, going back into the statistics side of things, he was not great. I mean, a 4.30 ERA is below average, but was it all his fault? No, it was not. Let's dive a little bit deeper. In 2023, Chris Sale had a FIP of 380. The stat FIP just purely measures his performance alone. You have to remember, the Red Sox had an awful defense last year. His FIP was so much better than his ERA. But taking defense out of the question, a 380 FIP is really good. Or I guess I can't say really good, but more so for a 34-year-old pitcher who was coming off of an injury. Plus, he also got injured in 2023. A 380 FIP will work. The Braves have been really good at fixing pitchers, and I don't see it being any different with Chris Sale. He may not be that same guy that he once was, but he will still make a very positive impact in 2024. He wanted to be a Brave. He waived his no-trade clause in order to come here, and he wants to win a ring in what could be one of his final years of his entire career. Looking at this trade from a Red Sox point of view, this is also a very good move. Boston has been cheap all offseason. They shouldn't be, but they have been, and this move does free up $12 million. This gives them more financial freedom to go and make a big signing. Now, no one expected for Chris Sale to be traded, but does it make sense? Yes, it absolutely does. Boston wants to get younger. They want controllable players. Acquiring a guy like Vaughn Grissom was exactly that. Not only is he under team control for 7 years, but he also has a plethora of potential. He's a righty, and the Red Sox are in desperate needs of righties. He's also a second baseman, which, yeah, the Red Sox also needed. At the MLB level, he did lack power. That's really the biggest concern. He's had success with his contact, but the power does need work. He's only 22 years old, so I really do think that this guy is just going to be growing with time, and the power will improve. Most of last year was actually spent in the minor leagues, where he hit for a .330 batting average. I'm not worried about his bat at all. GM Craig Breslow has already said that he will be the Red Sox everyday second baseman. This is something to be excited about. It is a completely new era. Being so young, he's going to develop so much with this team, offensively and defensively. Once again, great trade overall, but what happens with Boston's pitching staff now? Because outside of Brian Bayo, Lucas Giolito, and Nick Pivetta, this rotation is gross. A true number one is needed, and we need to see a move made. Breslow has already said that he does think that the Red Sox are prepared to go and make a big trade. This trade would feature prospects being traded for a controllable pitcher. If Boston is serious about winning in 2024, go and trade for a pitcher like Jesus Luzardo. He was so great with the Marlins last year. There are absolutely no excuses. The Red Sox have the resources to go and make a trade happen. And I do think that if they were to go ahead and make this trade, it would not feature Marcelo Mayer. I've seen a lot of people trying to say that Boston will trade their top prospect with Mayer. I just don't see a world where it happens, because here's what you have to look at. They have so much outfield depth. Therefore, they're going to be catering to Roman Anthony. If anyone got traded, it is their second best prospect, Roman Anthony. Great player, but they already have Masataka Yoshida. They have Jarren Duran, they have Wheeler Abreu, they have Ceddanne Rafaela. The list goes on. They have outfielders. They don't need any more. Truth be told, if Roman Anthony was traded for starting pitching, no one would complain. Even after losing Chris Sale, this pitching staff can be good. The best way that I describe the Red Sox offseason is they now work in silence. This is a team that has not had really anything leaked. You go and you look back at the Alex Verdugo trade, no one saw that trade specifically with the Yankees actually coming. No one saw the Tyler O'Neill trade coming, and no one saw this Chris Sale trade coming. They're working in silence, and no one knows what they could be brewing up. As a Red Sox fan, I still hope to see a signing. I hope that they go and land a big pitcher. There aren't many guys left, but they could definitely go and do it. I love what they've done so far, but they need to do more. Now, what does everyone think about this trade? What do you guys think? Is Chris Sale washed? Is Vaughn Grissom a good player? Is he someone to be excited about? Let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and peace out.